our attorney, Ryan Helmick. Why is it so important to have an attorney in your corner?
The state of Nevada is represented by the prosecutor, who is an attorney. And so an individual that is charged with a crime should likewise be represented to level the playing field. And as well, you want to have somebody who has experience in dealing with these types of cases, knows what type of evidence that needs to be put forth, what type of story needs to be told to the jury in order for them to see all the facts and the circumstances surrounding the case.
Videos where you have an officer basically around the neck area.
These two retired Vegas cops, now podcast hosts.
They don't have ID, they can't get into a hotel room. To get them the help they need, especially if someone even gets arrested. A lot of people don't know how the justice system works.
You guys have going on is necessary, it's needed.
Hey, it's David Kohlmeyer, the Problem Solver. Thanks so much for joining us today. Tuesday, 6 o'clock, Cox Channel 14. We're here. Problem Solver show today. We wanted to talk about what's going on in Vegas a little bit. Today we have a special guest. We have Nephi to my right with Vegas CCW, who is a security expert and a local here, and is here to basically share some wisdom for people on Channel 14 here. Then we have Gentil, which is Dr. G.
Hey,
I like the name.
Doctor of Love, baby. That's who I am.
Dr. G's here. Then we have Danny Miner, who is I'm going to say problem solver, is the miracle and also the crime solver, which is something new.
Yep.
Thanks, Danny, for joining us.
Thanks, Dave. Can't wait to hear what we have today.
Today, our special guest. Nephi's been on here before. He's very controversial, but he's got a wealth of knowledge in general. And we wanted to bring up the topic in regards to Vegas, what's going on. We have some new, politicians that are moving into office. We've got a new sheriff that basically is coming to town. But the question really comes down to is safety for the people in our community, because I do believe things are becoming more violent and there's less police officers doing their job and out there. And I just don't see the police like I used to see it. And I'm kind of concerned, for my family and for other families. So Nephi, tell me what your thoughts are.
As always, our personal safety is our responsibilities, and law enforcement is there. Metro's running at like 60% capacity. That's why you're seeing less of them, why people are getting less tickets, why I speed more. It's the same thing. When there's not as many cops on the road, I'll go over 100. I know the chances of me seeing somebody are pretty slim. And it's the same thing with other types of crimes that occur. When the cat is away, the mice will play. So I don't think there's necessarily any more criminals on the road. I think there's just easier to get away with it. That's why, when we relax on gun laws or, relax on sentences and things like this, criminals tend to come out of the hiding a bit more, but they've always been around. Mm-hmm. Individuals, just what is it about you that is attracting their attention? And I think that's more important than an individual looking to go get a gun or going to go get a tool. Well, okay, you can go buy a hammer, doesn't mean that you're magically a carpenter. The foundation for self-defense is your self-confidence and your ability to hold your head up high, keep your eye contact up, and be aware of your surroundings, and you're going to reduce 90% of the problem just by taking care of the things that you can control as an individual. And confidence generally helps in every area of someone's life. I mean, it is the key to self-defense.
Danny, I know one of the things when we were cops in general, everyone used to say, and I know you're in Pennsylvania and I'm in New York or I'm in Henderson, they'd always say, we don't see cops in our area. We don't see them driving around. Like, they need to drive around more. And like Henderson's like over 100 square miles. And they would always complain they never see the cops. Same thing where you worked in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, exactly. When I became, and a lot of people don't know this, I was the chief of police of a small town for 3 years. And my biggest thing was getting the officers seen. I would make my officers get out of the car and walk downtown. I would make them do it. They didn't like it, but I'd make them do it because the public needs to see you. They need to know that you're doing the job. Honestly, public needs to see you.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things is the issues, like I said, people want to see the police presence. And as a New York City police officer, we used to have to wear our police hat when we'd walk a footbeat. And a lot of times they used to joke around saying it looked like a, a birth control device, on your head. And most cops didn't want to wear them. But the truth is, when you saw a cop walking a footbeat, you basically would, if you were a criminal, you were about to basically
force
look
of
for
presence.
opportunity. The command presence, basically, if you walk in the street, people were going to stop and think because it's a cop, walking down the street. Now, I noticed on the Las Vegas Strip recently, I did a few events. I don't see the police out there. Now, a few weeks ago, I saw the police cars out there when there was the murder that took place. And I saw the police car, the lights are on, and then sometimes I would see officers, but they were like on their phone. And then I would see...
Are you talking about the stabbing, the murder?
Yeah, yeah.
Is that where okay.
right after that, there was
Got
like
it.
police cars like everywhere,
Of course, yes.
But I didn't see any cops like walking a footbeat near the car.
They
So I feel
never
like
walk a footbeat on
I
the
feel like they
strip.
always just like left the car. They just left the car there, but now the cars are gone. So I just feel like, and then I did drive by the Bellagio, and it looked like there was fighting going on. There was no cops, and most security, right? They're really protecting the property. They're not really on the strip
Yeah.
itself and the sidewalk. But I just think things are just a little bit out of hand, and I just think I'm concerned.
They are.
I wouldn't want to really walk the strip with my family. I'm kind of concerned.
No, I
Or
wouldn't
gotta
either.
carry,
I go to the strip a lot. You know that, right? I'm a big poker player. I was just at Bally's. That place right in front of Planet Hollywood, that just walk from Planet Hollywood to Paris is horrible. It's horrible. You're risking your life when you walk there. It's horrible.
Like risking your life how?
There's just crazy people there.
Oh, okay.
Crazy people everywhere. That vicinity, for some reason,
Really?
in front of Planet Hollywood's the worst part of the strip.
Like party people, tourists?
No, no,
or
no.
like
homeless people, scary people.
Oh.
You name it, it's all that
Really?
area. Yes. And I'm like, Dave, no police presence. Zero.
Wow.
Zero police presence. It's ridiculous.
That's because they're leaving the casinos to do their own security because the casinos, have their own SRT teams now,
Yep.
and that's another subject. But all right, you want to manage your own property? Go ahead. Back when the mob was running things, you didn't have any of that stuff on the strip, right?
So we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, let's talk about what's going on in the Vegas communities as well in regards to there were some robberies and some other things took place. Let's talk about what people could do in the community to protect themselves. We'll be back in a quick minute.
I always knew I wanted to be an attorney. I just like helping people.
Are you okay? Do you need any help? Thanks, Christopher.
I've been in Vegas helping the little guy since I was a little guy. Are we any good at helping you win? No, we're great. Call us now for help with your injury case.
LasVegasTrafficCameras.com. 1725 cameras. Access to the largest network of traffic cameras. Accident? Injured? Get the video footage you need to get justice. 725 cameras. LasVegasTrafficCameras.com.
Your Honor, I want you to get the full picture of what happened. The real world is sometimes complicated and messy, and so can be criminal justice system. My name is Ryan Helmick. I'm a criminal defense lawyer here in Las Vegas.
Hey, it's David Kohlmeyer, the Problem Solver. We're back here talking about safety in the community on the Las Vegas Strip, but specifically, I wanted to bring up to Nephi and my co-host here. I feel even in the regular communities of Las Vegas, Henderson and North Las Vegas, that there just seems there's a lot more shootings and things going on, and I'm just kind of concerned. Even like my wife, she likes to walk in the morning in the community where we are, and I just think it's a little bit unsafe these days. She's not carrying a firearm, even pepper spray. She's not trained, karate, stuff like that. You just never know. I mean, is she prepared in regards to having confidence,
Well, where are you living? I mean, why doesn't she feel safe walking?
No, I mean, things can happen anywhere. It doesn't matter
Anywhere.
if you're in
True,
Summerlin or
anywhere,
Desert
yeah,
Shores
yeah.
or Green Valley. The bottom line is that I always say that crime, can affect any any
Anywhere.
community, any home, doesn't matter how many square feet your home is.
True.
Actually, a lot of people that have larger square feet that have a lot more money, I feel like there's a lot more
Crime.
There's more to take.
Yeah.
more-
That's
more,
true.
More drug overdose
Yeah.
and
That's
a lot of
true.
problems within the home. You don't know what
Yeah.
your kid's doing when the home is 6,000 square feet.
I live in a guard gated community, and we've had people jump over the fence and roam around and come steal mail and all that good stuff.
I mean, things
Yeah.
happen all over the place. Do you feel safe walking around in your community?
Yes, I actually still do. Yes.
But do you
Yeah.
have a firearm on your side? Or
No. I go. No, I'm walking for exercise, so no, I don't carry.
The problem is, like I said, there's a lot of people I feel out there these days, whether it's on the strip or any
Mm-hmm.
place. And we had this situation that we talked about, I think in the last episode when we had Laura on the show, where I went to a nice area in Henderson. We went for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
There was one person that was sitting right next to the door when we walked in, which was a scary little guy, guy that was there, just seemed like he had mental health issues.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden when we were leaving, someone comes out of the place basically saying, am I trafficking Laura, our other co-host that
Dave
comes
was sex trafficking her.
I mean, it was crazy. Like,
Yeah,
the person
that was
came
kinda
out and
weird.
said that like they thought I was sex trafficking this person, but they were
He
just
does look a
mentally
little
unstable.
creepy sometimes.
Get in the van.
Does he look like a pimp to you though?
No, he looks like a guy that's want to see what he look size 13. Go ahead, hop in the van.
So, like I said, I just think, like I said, it was a nice area in Henderson. Just people are a little bit unstable these days. It makes me concerned. So, anyway, Nevi, what are your thoughts in regards to with your background with security, being a bounty hunter and stuff like that?
Well, and, primarily what we do are self-defense seminars and confidence building and CCW permitting. Every person has to decide at some point in their life, what are they going to do about their personal safety? Are they going to run? Are they going to hide? Or are they going to fight? And in spite of what I do for a living, I don't think that every individual, the right solutions just go straight to a firearm, because without confidence, without training, it's a bigger liability for you. Certainly we can help you on your path to confidence, to where you can present that effectively. But each individual really needs to evaluate themselves and decide what are their strengths, what are they comfortable with, where are their belief systems at. 90% of the risk for a person can be eliminated by taking care of your own stuff. Just making sure that you're not hanging around a bunch of scummy people and you don't have a bunch of nasty habits or addictions. That's where 90% of the problems will start from that perspective. And then the last 10% that's left is just normal human interaction. And that part you should be able to have. If you're not putting yourself in bad situations, most of it's off the table. And if you don't hang around other people that do that, most of it's off the table. And so then we're just dealing with, you stepped on my shoes, say you're sorry kind of interactions. Don't put yourself in positions that, you're going to be compromised. People coming into neighborhoods and breaking into homes, those are different than violent criminals most of the time. Those are people that are actually looking for stuff. The guy that's going to confront you and rob you at the gunpoint on the street, he's not really there for money. He's there to take your power. And I think for the most important thing for people with us in our training is to gain an understanding of the violent criminal's mindset, because until you understand the problem, how are you ever going to come up with a solution? And the problem is violent criminals, I don't understand them. Why do they do what they do? I can't avoid it if I don't know what it is, or if I can't negotiate with them or even beat them unless I know what it is I'm dealing with up here. So most of the work needs to be done by us. You're not out of control. Like people think they feel helpless and vulnerable. Most of the keys that you need can all be done right within yourself.
One of the scary parts is in this past week, I've dealt with 2 cases where it was people in vehicles. One was stolen where they hit a motorcycle person and the guy died. And then we have another person that was the DUI and substantial bodily harm, and the other young kid died as well. So it's not even like these days just straight up like someone trying to rob you. It's people just driving recklessly and drinking and driving. And we do have alcohol that's freely given by casinos and local places, even the local bars and stuff like that. When you're gambling, you can drink for free. And it concerns me greatly for people in the community. Like I said, 2 people this week that I dealt with have died because of people behind the car, whether it's drinking or a habitual criminal. And then people are being allowed out because of jail reform, or there's something I just found today called the Project bail project where people were basically being let out as well. So it just kind of concerns me. I think people just need to be really careful. And honestly, I mean, it's scary for me to even have my wife walk outside and take a walk in the community because I'm kind of concerned whether it's a car that's driving recklessly or whether some crazy person that's out there that's mentally unstable. I really do believe that she needs to basically stay within the community in general. So when we come back for a quick break, I want to discuss what we each individually do to make ourselves safer in our community or our homes, each one of us a little bit different. So let's share that. We'll be back in a quick minute.
LasVegasTrafficCameras.com. 1725 cameras. Access to the largest network of traffic cameras. Accident? Injured? Get the video footage you need to get justice. 725 cameras. LasVegasTrafficCameras.com.
Injured? Call 602-HURT. Car accident? Call 602-HURT. Pacific West Injury Law, a firm that focuses on you. Our firm is dedicated to you and your recovery. No fee until we win.
Hey, it's David Kohlmeyer, the Problem Solver. We're back here talking about community safety. I wanted to talk about crime prevention tips for the holiday. We're going now into December, Thanksgiving just passed, and now we're going into the holidays into December. And I'm kind of concerned in regards to safety. What are some things that we all do here to make ourselves safer, whether it's ourselves or our homes and our families? Dr. G, tell us what you do.
Nothing. I just stay home and keep the doors locked.
Doors locked? Alarm?
I have an alarm, yes.
Okay. What's
yes.
Your passcode? You want to give us the
passcode? Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, you ready? 000.
Do you have like firearms throughout the home? Like, are you really prepared?
I do, actually.
Like if vampires are coming that you like
apocalypse, yes. No, the zombies. I'm
like,
waiting.
can you go to different rooms and have like rifles and things set up?
Maybe. I can't give away my secret.
Okay.
Come on. But I do have a lot of firearms.
But you are prepared.
Yes, I have. I have a lot of ammo.
Okay.
Yes.
And just to recap, look, we live in this state, which is kind of the Wild West. Mm-hmm. Some people may say, oh, we're against guns, we're for guns. I mean, it is your right.
Yeah.
Especially in this state, you're allowed to have rifles, you're allowed to have firearms. And the bottom line is you have the right to protect yourself. And the truth is things are becoming a little bit more violent. And I think that everyone has that right. Yeah. That's the biggest right that you could have is to protect you and your family.
I also teach all of my girlfriends to be comfortable with shooting.
I think it's amazing, especially for females too, that may not be as prepared. A lot of females are prepared, but some are not. Yep. So I think it's great. Danny, what do you normally do?
Well, I mean,
for your family and
listen, I have a gun in my house, of course. Okay, I got multiple guns in my house. They're loaded. What are you going to do? Somebody's breaking in your door and trying to load the gun?
Well, some
you know
people,
what I mean?
Some people, they feel unsafe or not confident with a firearm, and you got to be careful. Like Nephi always says, if some people, if you're not confident, you don't know how to use a firearm, it can be used against you.
Yeah.
I agree.
Is a problem.
Yeah, he's totally right. But the other thing I do is just being aware of your surroundings. Okay. I told you guys I'm always on the strip. I really am. I act like a tourist all the time because I'm always there. When I'm walking the strip, I'm looking 30 feet ahead. Mm-hmm. I see trouble before I get there. That's okay, and I always see it. And if I'm walking my girlfriend, I always grab her and I put her on the other side of me. So if somebody tries to attack, they hit me first.
Aww.
Just it's a male thing to do.
Yeah.
I put her on the other side of me when we're going through bad people.
What a gentleman. Yeah, that's good. Yes.
So that's basically be aware of your surroundings. People are on their cell phones. They're not being aware of their surroundings. Be aware of your surroundings.
Nephi, some tips with your expertise and your background, especially with Vegas CCW, because you give these classes. Yeah. But I know that you're not, even though you teach these classes, you talk about confidence more. Tell us some tips.
Number one thing I always leave the house with is confidence. I'm never going to go anywhere sulking or looking like I'm a wounded gazelle, right? The way that I hold my face, eye contact with everybody. I always lean in when I talk to people. If I see a problem, I go straight to it instead of recoiling away from it. And I always have like almost a half a dozen weapons. I have one revolver. I have my 9mm. I have a knife. I have my fists, and I have my brain, which is the most dangerous one of all. I don't leave the house in flip-flops. Because, you ever been in a fight? You ever been in a fight in flip-flops? It's not a fun feeling. And if I'm carrying a gun, I also always remember to carry a smile.
My smile.
Carry
Okay.
smile. What's your,
Smile.
What's your theory behind that? Even though you know.
Because if you're walking around somewhere, let's say you were open carry, and somebody saw a gun and you were upset about something, and you're just going on and on and on about it. Someone's going to look at agitated person, gun.
Yes.
SWAT team's coming, right?
yeah.
They're going to call on you. Every
point.
time I would go somewhere, if I had to be open carry because I'm in training gear or something else, I always made sure I had a smile. Hey, how you doing? And then also it's reinforcing the idea that, okay, person with a gun, good person, right? Constantly making and reinforcing that.
Very good, yeah.
That contrast.
I like
So if you're going to carry a gun, also carry a smile. Remember that you, as a sheepdog, as a protector, if you're making people nervous, then you're not doing your damn job. You're doing it wrong. I think people shouldn't, it shouldn't be visible. I think it should be a right, but not a practice. And I think people should treat their guns like they treat their private parts. And there's a time and a place to pull them out. And you shouldn't just walk around with your zipper down.
That's good. Yeah.
And anecdotally, of course. But I think people have more control over what they do. And I think keep your head up, make eye contact, don't be afraid. Here's my number one tip. If you want to be really good at self-defense and awareness, practice complimenting strangers.
Yes.
It teaches all the skill sets you need to be
That's a good
totally
one.
aware.
That's a good one.
Give us a quick example.
Find people, because a robbery, right? It's an awkward social situation, right? It's a really awkward one. And learning to practice, number one, looking for something to compliment someone that's not common for you to compliment. You might also happen to bump into, a weapon, a threat, something else, and now you've identified it, but you haven't trained yourself to think negatively about people. It also teaches you to constantly be on the lookout for positivity, and it also helps you to confront the nervousness you might feel in an awkward social situation, so that when somebody comes up and sticks a gun in your face, you have the ability to deliver that confidence that's necessary for, because when you lose, it's because you show fear. I've heard, I need to correct this if we could take a moment to do this. Law enforcement all over the country says, no matter what you do, crime's on the rise, don't ever resist your attacker. I need to slap people for saying that, because the real advice that a real self-defense expert would give is don't ever show fear to your attacker.
I agree.
You can comply, but you don't have to show weakness when doing it, because they will not get violent until you show fear and surrender.
Interesting.
Real quickly, I want to share a few different crime prevention topics because I was always passionate about it in general. These days, in regards to your home, shrubbery in general, that you should basically, still trim the shrubbery where basically people that are bad people can't hide behind the shrubbery. So if you have like a rose bush or something like that and people can hide in darkness, we also need to keep the lighting on, whether it's the front or the rear. So it's a way of preventing. They always say like if you have bugs that you turn the lights on, the bugs start running away. You always have the lights on, the bugs are going to basically come out. And then people think that someone's home in the home. So having lighting basically inside the home, whether it's a TV, whether it's the radio inside the home. But I really do believe lighting is very important, because if you drive down the street and you see basically a home that's really, really dark, you're more likely to, think that someone's not home. And the bottom line is you're more likely to be victimized. So lighting is really, really important inside the home and outside the home. Even if you leave, you can buy different LED bulbs these days where it's cheaper in general, so you don't have to worry about lighting. Also these days, people in the past used to always have these motion sensor lights. That was when things were more expensive in regards to electricity. These days with LED lights, I actually feel lights should just be totally on. Motion sensors means that they're very close to the home, where the lights basically just automatically turn on. So it's important in regards to having today's technology in regards to lighting. Just have the light on.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's cheaper these days with LED. And then in regards to packaging, and packages, keep showing up to your door, people are more likely to steal it. There's opportunity. So if you're not going to be home, or you're going away for Thanksgiving or for Christmas, right, and you have all these different boxes showing up at the door, there's more opportunity for theft.
Yes.
Again, alarm systems, turning them on, having a, if you have family, basically, or children, having certain passcodes, whether it's for the alarm or having a plan. God forbid there's an intruder in the home or something's taking place. Be prepared. Don't have the mentality of the sheep, and basically you need to be the lion in your home. You need to be confident, and you need to address violence with violence. God forbid something takes place. You need to take control of the situation if you can. You need to notify the police as quick as possible. So again, there's so many different things that you can do. Be prepared in general. to protect yourself and your family, because the bottom line is it will take some time for the police to respond if you get a chance to even notify the police.
So basically, you want to guard your package, get turned on, and trim your bush.
Whatever works in general, everyone's a little bit different, but that sounds proper in regards to your home.
I'm just recapping what he said.
Recapping. So again, I want everyone to be safe during the holiday season.
good.
I really appreciate all the tips in general like that. And like I said, we all bring different things to the table in general. So I want everyone to be careful. I want everyone to have a good holiday season, but please be careful.
Yeah.
I am concerned for the month of December. So if you need the problem solver, 702-999-1111, or use the QR code on your screen. Thanks, Nephi from Vegas CCW for joining us. Thanks, Dr. G. Thanks, Danny Miner, the crime solver, the miracle as usual, for sharing your wisdom and guidance. We'll see you next week, next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Be safe.
Our attorney, Ryan Helmick. Why is it so important to have an attorney in your corner?
The state of Nevada is represented by the prosecutor, who is an attorney. And so an individual that is charged with a crime should likewise be represented to level the playing field. And as well, you want to have somebody who has experience in dealing with these types of cases, knows what type of evidence that needs to be put forth, what type of story needs to be told to the jury in order for them to see all the facts and the circumstances surrounding the case.